Welcome back to another video. My name is Gordon Frayne, and today we're diving into our weekly Bitcoin and crypto market update for Friday, May 17th, 2024. It's been another very exciting week in the markets. As always, though, before we jump into the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button below if you enjoy the video. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 10,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world if you subscribed and hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. We're dropping videos pretty much every single day on the channel, so you're going to want to get notified to stay on top of this rapidly evolving crypto landscape and hit your crypto goals. So, as we said, it's been another very exciting week in the markets. We can see that we're currently sitting back above $67,000. We did an update during the week about how Bitcoin had bounced back over 66K. We're now sitting above 67,150 US dollars here on May 17th, 2024. Ethereum is back up over the $3,000 mark. It's at 3,100 right now. BNB sitting at about 582 and Solana sitting at 171. Solana has had an excellent week, up about 15% week over week. So definitely outperforming Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB as well. If we jump over to the overall crypto market cap, we have seen some good growth in the past 7 days. We were sitting at about 2.25 trillion as of last week, and we're currently sitting at about 2.44 trillion here as of this morning. So lots of good growth happening. We did see a couple of, slight dips during the week down to 2.23 trillion, but currently sitting at a healthy 2.44, up strongly on the week with Bitcoin bouncing and the ETFs starting to purchase Bitcoin again. Fear and Greed Index is currently sitting at a score of 74. We were down lower at the 66 mark and even the 53 mark this time last week. We got up to 66 during the week about 3 days ago, currently sitting at about 74. So, slightly more greed than fear, but with the bounce from Bitcoin back up to 67K from those low 60s this time last week, there was a lot of positive sentiment gathering in the market, and it's looking like we could be going upwards towards the $70,000 mark from here. Jumping into the top gainers and losers of the week, so looking at the past 7 days time frame, again, meme coins have bounced back strongest here with Floki and Pepe up 23 and 21% respectively on the week. We've got Ordi for the ordinal side of things up 17%. Chainlink having a very good week, up 16%. Jupiter, the Solana decentralized exchange, up 16% as well. Ondo, tackling real world asset tokenization, is up 15% on the week. And then we've got a few others like Solana up 14% itself. Shiba Inu up 11%. Immutable X up 11%. RWA and Nexo up about 10% respectively. Near Protocol up about 10.5% as well. Gala Games up 10%. Bitcoin itself up just under 10%. ICP up 8%. Hedera up almost 9% as well. So lots of positive sentiment going on here. We've got Fetch, Phantom, Gala, the Graph, some of these AI protocols making big moves over the past week or so as well. Dogecoin and Bonk up 6 and 7% respectively also. So meme coins and AI tend to be the narratives here that are continuing to outperform, and we've seen that in the trend since the beginning of the year as well as the end of 2023. In terms of top losers of the week, we do have Athena down 13%, WorldCoin down 9%, Render back down a little bit, down about 7%. It did make some big moves last week, so starting to retrace a little bit from there. Wormhole down 6%, Starknet down 4%, Injective down 3%, Akash down 1%, Caspa down 1%, Algorand down about 1%, and BNB down about 1%. So out of the top 100, we definitely have more gainers than losers, probably about a 66 to 33% split. So lots of positive sentiment gathering over the past week in terms of moves being made from altcoins. However, if we do jump over to the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see that Bitcoin dominance continued to trend upwards this past week, especially with Bitcoin making those moves back up above $67,000. We were sitting around the 55% mark here last Friday, just below 55% at about 54.8%. We got all the way up above 56% in the past 48 hours, but we've retraced slightly back down to about 55.8%. Again, this is on the daily chart, and if we zoom out, we can see that we've been on a very strong uptrend for the past few months with Bitcoin dominance, all the way since December of 2022, even through all of 2023, we continue to see this very strong upwards trend for Bitcoin dominance. So again, not quite alt season just yet, but we would expect potentially coming into an alt season maybe in the next few months. As we jump over to our altcoin season index, again, this indicates once again that in the past month time frame, it is more of a Bitcoin month than an altcoin month. And again, Bitcoin dominance is playing into that, as we saw in the graph just a moment ago. Going down to the top 50 performers over the past month, we can see that Bitcoin is up 6.5% on the month. We are seeing more green than red here. This was more red than green this time last week, but given the market bounce in the past week or so, we are seeing a lot more green on the top 50 performers over the past month. We can see Toncoin is up over 200% on the month. We've got Near Protocol up about 44% on the month. HBAR up 42% on the month. Rune up 40%, Render up 26%, IMX up 24%. So lots of good performers over the past month in the top 50 altcoins. However, we are seeing Pepe down 100% overall on the month. Sui is down about 20%. Maker is down about 14%. Injective down about 11%. So some of these altcoins are yet to make real big bounces back after we did see that market retracement over the past 4 to 6 weeks since Bitcoin put in those pre-halving all-time highs above 72,000 US dollars. So still more of a Bitcoin strong month than an altcoin month, but you will have these outliers like Toncoin, HBAR, Near, Render, IMX, all outperforming Bitcoin and up all above 20, 24, 40% themselves. Jumping over to the narratives month to date performance, what we're seeing here is this is our live index for tracking and monitoring the different narratives that are performing best in the month of May thus far. We can see that artificial intelligence continues to be one of the biggest narratives in the entire space at about 28.52% month to date. We've also got oracles performing very well. Again, when we were looking at the top gainers, we can see that Ordi in here is, Ordi is ordinals, not oracles. I've made that mistake there, but oracles, decentralized physical infrastructure, NFTs, we've got in here as well, memes, real world assets, GameFi, layer ones. So lots of interesting narratives going on here. It's always worth keeping an eye on what is performing. You can obviously look at the top gainers and losers to get a gauge of that, but if you come into this dashboard on Dune, you'll be able to actually see the specific narratives that are outperforming month to date. And again, some of the stuff that is obvious and that we've spoken about here on the channel in terms of artificial intelligence, GameFi, and memes, real world assets as well, all continuing to outperform most of the other narratives. We did see some big news this week also with regards to the Bitcoin spot ETFs. We have seen the spot ETF issuers beginning to purchase more and more Bitcoin after some lulls over the past couple of weeks. We can see that BlackRock now have over 275,000, Grayscale have 288,000, but we are likely to see this flippening here in the next few weeks as BlackRock continue to accumulate. We've got Fidelity on about 156,000, ARK and Bitwise in the middle table here with about 47k and 35k respectively. And then on the bottom end, we've got VanEck, Valkyrie, Invesco, Franklin Templeton, and Wisdom Tree. But if we come down to this chart, we can see that the ETFs, excluding Grayscale, have purchased a total of 547,000 Bitcoin since the spot ETFs began on January 10th of this year. And if we jump over to the flows, we can see that we are back in the positive. Again, this is data for yesterday, May 16th, 2024. And we're seeing the fact that we have net flows of 3,940 Bitcoin with IBIT, Fidelity, ARK, all purchasing significant amounts. This is reflected in the chart here, which we can see the daily flows for the past few months. And again, notable here that we did have large amounts of outflows over, pretty much the entire month of April. We saw significant outflows before starting to purchase here at the beginning of May. And this week in particular, you can see here, we've had some very positive inflows with all of the ETFs beginning to purchase once again. And this trend line starting to tick upwards once again with all of these new inflows from institutional investors. And largely, some of this is down to the fact that we've got a number of different companies that have began disclosing the fact that they are purchasing the Bitcoin spot ETFs via the likes of BlackRock, Fidelity, etc., because the Q1 filings had to happen here for all of these companies, where they have to disclose on their balance sheet if they hold Bitcoin and other similar assets. So during the past week or so, we have seen some of these large corporations and asset managers like Millennium Management, Susquehanna International Group being the biggest ones on this list. But these institutions and asset managers are beginning to allocate capital to Bitcoin. And these are the companies that began allocating capital to Bitcoin at the very beginning of the spot ETF here. So these were the guys that were buying all through January, February, and March. And then they've now had to disclose all of those Q1 purchases based on the fact that they have to update their balance sheet to reflect all of the purchases they made for the Bitcoin spot ETF. So we're seeing here all of these investment companies and asset managers purchasing Bitcoin. We've got Millennium Management, who purchased almost $2 billion worth of Bitcoin from the spot ETFs. You can see how that's broken down with ARK, ARK Invest, IBIT, and the other ETF issuers. We've got Susquehanna International Group, who purchased pretty much 1.2 billion. We've got Horizon Kinetics purchasing just under 1 billion, and then Bracebridge Capital just under $500 million, and so on and so forth down the list. You'll notice the likes of Morgan Stanley, and there's other people on this list further down, like Royal Bank of Canada. So what we're seeing here is the game theory activation of the fact that all of these companies and institutions are having to disclose the fact that they're now purchasing Bitcoin as part of their treasuries and as part of their company holdings for their investors. And all of this only happened in the past week or so, and we've already seen the number of people beginning to purchase the spot Bitcoin ETFs in the past week has begun to trend upwards once again, because if you are a competitor of these investment firms and you're seeing that they're already investing in Bitcoin and have been doing so since January, your clients and the people that are part of your fund or your investment trust are going to start asking questions as to why are you not investing in Bitcoin. So the fact that these companies are disclosing that they've been investing hundreds of millions and billions of dollars into Bitcoin since the beginning of the spot ETFs in January means that we're going to see a lot more flow of capital into the ETFs over the next few weeks. And we've already began seeing that upwards trend the past few trading days. So lots of positive sentiment there on the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Once again, we're looking at the cycle low multiples here. And again, this is an overlay of the lead up to and aftermath of all of the 3 previous Bitcoin halvings. We've got the aftermath of the 2012 halving in blue, the aftermath of the 2016 halving in orange, and the aftermath of the 2020 halving in green, with the red line here representing the current era or cycle as we are moving through the immediate aftermath of the halving, which took place here on day 0, represented in this chart. And once again, just showing this to illustrate the fact that typically we have seen exponential price increases in the 12 to 18 months after each halving event. We did just come through the 2024 halving event on April 20th of this year. And again, if history is anything to go by, we will be looking at Bitcoin prices in excess of $100,000 very, very soon. So lots of exciting stuff going on in the markets. Again, looking at our tokenized treasuries real world asset index here, we're up 3.27% in the past 7 days. We're seeing that, again, Ethereum, Stellar, Solana, Polygon, and XTC being the chains where there's most amount of activity going on in terms of tokenized treasuries, in terms of real world assets. So lots of exciting things going on here with the real world assets narrative and all of the tokenization we're going to be seeing happening on chain over the next few years. So that is our market update. Once again, Bitcoin is currently sitting just above 67,000 US dollars, Ethereum back above 3,000, and lots of exciting stuff going on with the top winners and losers of the week. If you're following along for the ride, I hope you're enjoying it. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening, and we're in for a very exciting 12 to 18 months. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 10,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world. And hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. As I said, we're dropping videos pretty much every single day on the channel, so you're going to want to get notified when they drop so you can hit your crypto goals. And as always, we will catch you in the next one.